The one thing though that he should remember is like I have all of them. Like I have all the messages, and I don't think he does. I think he might have a few that he screenshotted throughout the course of the relationship, maybe. And I'm sure I've said some embarrassing stuff that he could release, except I think he has problems with what he could release that he might have screenshot for various legal.
Oh. I'm zooming in and I'm like, oh my God, it's getting bigger. No.
What?
No, there's a lot of flesh coming at me all at one time. That's why I was like, oh, God,
That's not better. It's not better.
Okay, all right. So I think this is the picture that reminded me so much. Okay.
Of this.
Yes.
That thing back there.
I legit think that he's curvier than April was. Like when I think about the jacuzzi streams and things like that. This is not normal. It's just not normal. Because usually, like, all right, if dudes normally have like a little bit of movies and whatnot, usually that's got like a gut, maybe, but they're still like, right? Like it's not like this hourglass figure. He's got too much.
He's got a waist. Like it's cinched.
Yeah. And he could legit like hold a pencil under his boob. Like the pencil trick. Okay, so hold on.
Hell, he can hold a whole marker. What? I'm sorry, that's just... The music is very appropriate. It's like a gay 90s pose. Come on in, boys.
The music is the worst part. It's the cringiest part. All right.
Is that a cow on the...
That was the first thing that I saw. Was like, is this a fucking Chick-fil-A shower curtain? Let me find out they sell shower curtains. What the fuck? So there's some roosters and then a cow and then a little chick, I guess, and a goose and whatever that is behind him. What is going on with this shower curtain, Nick?
And your hand, what's up with your hand like that? Like, hello.
He learned it from watching a movie. I learned it from watching you, Dad. Yeah, this is a bit much. That's a bit much. What are you? Maybe it's one of those things where it makes me wonder if like he thought about that hand posture before he took it, where he was like,
That was actually the 15th take. His hands were all over the place before that one.
Right. Let's go with the chicken. That looks great. We'll go with the spread chicken. It's like a fucking chicken foot. You ever been to the grocery store and they're all like wrapped up chicken feet?
Yes.
Am I just that Southern? No, but seriously, tell me it doesn't look like one of those just like kind of, I don't know. It reminds me of a chicken. Maybe because I just saw some over here, but all right. Anyway, so this is early on in the snake tattoo season. There is that. Wait, did you have another ring on over here? Yeah. What's this one? Ain't that the truth? Like, who is this? Who is this?
It's like a greeter at the gay 90s. And then when you walk in, he like throws glitter at you. It's like, come on in.
Hold on though. It gets better.
Okay.
Nick.
No.
It's true. This is I probably should just get the other one that's clearer than this, but hopefully y'all can see this.
Oh boy.
Am I wrong?
Nope.
Look, I didn't start the fire. No, it's seriously though. This is not. As soon as I saw it, I zoomed in and I sent it to Jackie, and I was like, "Oh shit,
Nicholas."
yeah."
It makes the gay 90s vibe even more appropriate.
He probably went to the gay 90s that night. In all honesty, he was like, "Man, can't wait to see Brent tonight."
He makes the best mojitos.
I was like, "Yo, God, help me." Boxing gym. I only took this picture because my arm looked good, and Aaron never lifted weights. Nick.
Gotcha.
Nick. You're too tall, man. You're too. I don't know. There's. I don't know. He looks pretty proud though, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's like, yep. This is my bicep. That's right.
Should we bring him in to defend himself?
I think he has to. Does he have it on? I think it's better. Oh my God. Yeah, you can. We still have a few left, but you can.
All right. You want to? You want to jump in?
Music, what?
Okay, he's giving me the head nod. Yes. All right.
All right.
Here we go.
What is this? This doesn't look like a gym. Y'all have nasty gyms.
It's a shitty boxing gym, right? Like it's the one that Aaron was at. So like I took this picture like I was hanging out with April and Kayla, and because he would go box, and I was like, women. And so then we like would actually lift weights a little bit, which is something he doesn't do. So that was funny. So I went into the bathroom and I was like, oh hey, like I lifted weights for the first time in forever, and my arm looks way better than it did 20 minutes ago. This is cool.
Well, fair enough.
So I took the picture and I was like, all right, this is fun. But that was about it.
They do have more definition than Aaron, the boxing guy. So I'll give you that.
No, he's very well defined. He's an athlete. He's an athlete guy, remember? Shoving dorks into lockers and all that.
Yeah, let me find that picture again. Where the hell? Oh, well, that's the other good one. Yeah,
where did that come from?
Here he is. The definition one, since he brought that up. Yeah, I mean, look at this.
Oh, God, yes.
Men train their entire lives to look that good. So, shit.
Yeah. It looks like he's about to do the truffle shuffle like he did on his stream a while ago. Remember? And he's just like
so bad.
It's like it hit the back end of the sausage skin and is pouring out the front. You know?
Well,
so gross.
That's just it. He was talking some shit one day. I don't even know when it was, but I said, all right. He was talking about us, and I had been talking shit anyway about how he had no definition. So I did a flex off and owned his ass. Well, I was going to pull that one up because I've got questions about this shit.
That one he said directly to me. That wasn't even to the group. that was right to my personal thing. I was like, what the hell? He's like, bro, should I get this hat? And I was like, I mean, I guess. I don't know. Like, why are you asking? I don't understand. I do now, of course.
He's trying to fulfill his Brokeback Mountain fantasies. He's like, maybe Nick will like this one.
Does it look good from behind?
That's all I got for him.
And welcome to the Pretty AntiSocial Fest.
Thanks for having me.
No problem.
I dressed up in my finest suit for taking selfies, so
yes,
figured I'd be on brand.
We appreciate it. We appreciate it.
These were more okay. I do like this one. This one was just sort of. I'm assuming this one was just sent. I wonder who took this one.
April.
This was in Vegas, right? Okay.
Yeah, April took any of the pictures that are not him, like doing a selfie, were taken by April. That was good, Moody.
Yeah, Moody's solid. When you're right, you're right. Mm-hmm. And then this one, I think I heard someone say the other day that this one was taken by April. No?
Yeah, it was. I have that one's actually cropped. I cropped her hand out of it, but I have the full one. It was just so far away, so it was like, oh, okay.
You look so mad.
Yeah.
He does.
Yeah, I don't know when, or I don't know why he looks so upset. I seriously think that's his like come to bed face.
It looks more to me like, I don't know when this was taken exactly, but more of like, I cannot believe you got me into this situation. Like by this point, he knows what's happening and he knows he's losing her, and he's like, I don't know. There looks like a lot of hatred in his eyes. Maybe that's all it is.
He does look off put.
Yeah, it's not very welcoming.
But I do, like I said, I have the original with her hand in it. Some people were like, "Who took this picture?" It's like April.
Is this like a hotel? What is this? All this? Okay, because I was curious.
I'm trying to think if that was their Vegas hotel or if that was a hotel. It might have been their. That doesn't look like the casino hotel that we stayed at, so I'm not. I think it's probably their Vegas hotel. I could go back and find it.
That probably is his come hither look. Then that's his like. Oh, it's go time.
I think she was about to be disappointed right after that picture.
He knew it too. He knew it too. That's why he's looking like that. Oh, I guess I've got to do this.
No, I called it. It's the St. Cloud Strangler face.
Funny story is he did know it. Like he knew that he would be disappointing. I'm not joking.
He knew that he would be. Is that the face like? I guess we're gonna try this again. We're both just gonna feel sad afterwards.
He told me, he once described to me like his game, right? Like his method. And he's like, well, here's what you get with me. It's very like straightforward and basic, and then it's done. Like, and I was like, well, I guess that sounds fun. I don't know. Not what I would lead with in a conversation at all, but
just like out of nowhere, being like, so this is how it is.
He was weird, man. He was.
It sounds like an obligation. Like the way that's set up sounds more like an obligation. And I wonder, like he does have 3 children, and he goes through women. You know, not a lot, but he's had a few.
But he says he's a sex guy.
Well, I mean, but being a sex addict is very different than being a sex guy in bed. You know, I fully believe he's a sex addict. We have heard so many stories about his addiction to porn, and from way back, he's told stories back in high school. Well,
it goes way back before he met me.
Oh yeah,
that the cuck porn history, like that's been his proclivity for a very long time.
Well, it makes me think about the story that he told about what he would do at his old radio station and leave used tissue around just for shits and giggles to see who would find them the next morning.
Yeah, you know what? There's actually a legal term for that. It's called fucking weird.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
But the way in which he talked about it, like he was so proud of it. Like it was just a normal thing. He was so proud of it, and that it's just something that everybody does. Yeah,
it's like, hey guys, isn't this hilarious? No. No, that's not hilarious. It's kind of gross, like, and probably smelly. Like, what are you doing? Why would that be a thing?
Some people would call it a biohazard as well.
It's also a crime.
Yes.
Like it's way too late for that to matter now. It's way past the statute of limitations. But yeah, like it's a crime. That's an assault. Assault with the deadly semen, like that exists.
Well, Moody read my mind with this because Aaron said the other day something about you. He was going to show proof of you like laying in his puddle for 5 months or something.
That's a long time. I hope did I get a snorkel at least? Like, Jesus, I'm face down in a puddle of cum for months. Like, whoa.
Well, do you think it's something that he did on your pillow and he just thinks you don't wash your laundry that often, or what?
I don't know. I don't know what he would think about it or whatever, but he says he's got a text message that proves it, which is really weird because I don't remember texting him about that, and I can't figure out why anybody else would either. Like that'd be a weird text, like, "Hey, I've been sleeping in your cum for months."
Right.
You're just hanging out there. It's fine. Like I don't understand like where he thinks that message is. You don't want that, guys. That is not good.
Mm-mm. But then you have to see the here we go. The counterpart, right?
Yep. Oh, I know which one it's gonna be. Oh, damn it.
Hold on.
I tried my best to get them like close. Like, all right, that was kind of.
This picture is great.
There we go. Oh shit! You have your emo studded out belt on this thing.
Oh yeah, I wear that thing all the time. I wear it to court.
I don't know how long you've had that belt, but I had one like that a good 30 years ago. So. Oh my gosh, you're just missing your chain wallet.
Yeah.
And
your skateboard.
You know.
You got your DCs on too?
No.
No,
I wear nice shoes now. I'm an adult.
Sorry, are you wearing your New Balances now? Your Brooks?
No, they're Cole Haans.
Watch out, Nick. Better watch it.
Yes.
Yeah. Patrick's taking offense.
You might take civil action, Patrick Melton.
Yep. Watch yourself. Okay, so
I rode your hump. I rode your hump at your stupid Hackamania event like a shark in the water.
I would have loved to have honestly seen that, even if it was just for a second as a joke. Just picturing it is like amazing. Oh my gosh. Okay, but this is early on too, because this is the snake's outline and only the snake's outline. So that tells me that was before we saw the pictures of you guys at the tattoo festival when you went in and got it colored in and had things added.
Yep.
Timeline wise.
Yeah. This would be sometime between December and July. I guess. I don't know.
So this is the picture.
Even questioning as to why you're taking the picture, though, too.
Oh no!
You're like, your face is like, should I be taking this picture or should I not be? I don't know.
It's the worst.
You decide.
Go ahead.
This was the picture that made me cry earlier, laughing so hard because every time I barely looked over, that face was staring at me, and I'm like, what? I couldn't help myself, and I could not stop.
What's wrong with it? You got a problem?
I mean,
What are you doing? What you doing over there? I'm a lot of fun. I'm a fun guy. Don't worry about it.
Like, what are you doing? Can I join?
Yeah. Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's up?
Hey guys.
Just over here looking at my phone.
It's like the person like trying to sneak taking a picture with their phone, but they're really bad at sneaking a picture with their phone.
That's me. That's me trying my best. Oh, did I line this up right?
I had to sneak one past myself. Like quick, take it while I'm not looking. But his weird turn to like the very graphically gay stuff lately is strange. Like I don't know what's going on upstairs anymore.
I don't know. It's ramped up, but
I know April isn't up there making bacon though.
No. Well, that and also I think it was on his Monday show. I just was curious and I looked it up and your name was mentioned 125 times. 125.
I just need to know what the fuck happened, Nick? What did you do to him? You broke him. Like he's actually broken. I just need to know the truth.
I provided a place for his wife to go and she left him. I think that really broke him a lot more than he wanted to admit. Now he's like, oh yeah. Yeah, I said, no, fuck that to buying the house. And it said, no, we're not doing any of that shit. But it's like, I've been showing some of the messages that he sent and you can see like, they're very much the opposite of that. Hey, let's look at that house. You can get through this. You're very strong. Like he's trying to get her back. This whole like, oh yeah, she was on drugs and got to go. That's bullshit. His his weird like man up talk is like, yeah, that's when you talk man to man. It's like, I told you the first time I was at your house and I had drugs, I said, if you ever ask me to not bring these into your house or to not give them to your wife, I don't care what she says or anybody else, I will not. He has still not asked me not to do it.
Right.
Right.
He says he did.
Even
but
the
he
story
didn't.
about the one he said, he tells this story about you coming in and doing a line off his table or something. And he
Insane. No, I did not.
had a bit about that. And then I think it was a different story with the bullet and all of that. And he said that he stood up and that was when April had run upstairs. Y'all were upstairs or something. And that Kayla had come down and they were playing a board game with the kids afterwards. But in between that, he said that he like put his foot down and said, that's it, everybody out of here. You know, get your jugs and get the fuck out. And then he's like, then we went and played board games. Well, he said then we went and played board games, Kayla and I, and then we went into the garage where it was super cold and I had the heater on. And I'm like, well, did you make him leave or not? Like,
he didn't.
I don't know.
He didn't. And his request was not to everybody. It was to April. He sent the message to her and wanted her to, the way it was worded was, you need to get out too, but everybody needs to go. And then later he tried to pretend that that's not what he said. And I'm like, bro, just admit that you told your wife that she had to leave the house. Like, that's why she's broken up. But, you know, she's, I want to be very clear. Nobody saw that bullet anywhere near a child. And I'm pretty sure it wasn't, because I'm pretty sure I was using it all night.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was my stash. He says I brought the safe in. I never brought that safe in their house. I'm not an idiot. And the safe was about like this big, right? So it's maybe 18 inches and by about 6 inches by about 3 inches. And it was it's like a safe you could put in your car and put a gun in there or something, quick access type thing. And so it was in the back of my car. I would never bring it in their house because it's this huge safe and it had a bunch of drugs in it and it just didn't belong in the house. I just didn't want to leave it at my house. If my kids were there, like with the nanny or whatever, I didn't want a pile of drugs in there. So
Right.
But it would just stay in the trunk of my car. And then I had my own little canister for it. But that's what I had. Like, if I needed more, I would have to go out and refill it. So when he's like, yeah, you left this on the couch. First of all, I don't sit next to children on couches because I'm a fucking adult. And like, that's not my kid. So that wasn't happening.
Right.
Second of all, neither I nor April nor Kayla saw that thing anywhere near anybody. The last place it was in my shorts. And April and I were up pretty much most of the night watching Game of Thrones and doing cocaine, like out of the bullet. So how it got magically teleported to a couch, I think might have more to do with someone grabbing it out of my shorts, which were on the ground, and taking it and claiming that it was somewhere else. But who knows, you know? What I do know is that I was doing cocaine all night. April doesn't believe that story. The way he tells it is great because it's changed like 15 times. And, there was a huge mess over the fact that he told his wife to leave when she was pissed off at me at first. Cause she at first was like, how did you do this? I was like, I didn't. Like, this is crazy. Like, there's no way that happened. We were using it all night, but I don't know. He's an odd duck.
Was that pretty far into the situationship?
I don't know. Ask Aaron, right?
Okay. Well, Aaron won't talk to me.
It's the first time that we're over there, and then it's like not the first time.
Right.
There. No, it was let's see, when was that? I think it was early March. Early March. And he still didn't ask me to not bring drugs into his house.
But that makes sense as far as like from an outsider's perspective of trying to piece together this timeline. That makes sense as far as being that far into it and him that fed up with the, being sort of the fourth wheel, I guess, in the situation where he's probably trying to, keep up with you so to speak, and got upset enough maybe to where, some things were moved around and changed around where he could place blame, and then kicking her out on top of it. Because he tells the story about her crying in the shower and all of that after getting that text and that mess. So, because all along, I
It's
felt
way
like,
worse than he described. Like it was.
oh, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. But all along, I felt like it was his way of getting rid of her. Now, whether or not he was sort of testing the grounds entering into this relationship or not is a different story. But I think once he got into it and realized, okay, this is not what I want. And I mean, their marriage, it looked like he was looking for a way out and would have done it any way he could because of some of the things that he said, like the day of or the very next day, he is trashing her. I mean, absolutely.
Mhm.
Like there's
Mhm.
never, like he's never loved the woman ever. It
Yeah.
just seems so far removed from someone that loved, the person that they were with. So that timeline for me checks out because it sounds like, he was opening a way up to sort of get her pushed out.
Which is
Or get away
crazy
from her.
because like the way he talked about it, the way he talked about her and the way he messaged about her was always like, or at first it was very like, very loving. Like there would be, if he was trying to get rid of her, like he says now, again, he's doing this thing where he's trying to come across like, oh, like, I'm a big macho guy who's just trying to have sex and do that. It's like, no, you weren't by any stretch of the imagination, but every text was like just about how much he loved April and she was so special and all this stuff. And it was all like very, very loving and sensitive, which he's like the greatest projector on earth. He was saying that about me, like how he was the guy just in it for other stuff. And I was in it for love or whatever, which I was and wasn't at first. I didn't know what I was in it for. Like there was no plan. And then it developed into something like way, way really deep, really quickly. And that was not a planned thing. It was very much a surprise, but it's like him trying to pretend that it wasn't is insane. And he knows that, which is, again, it's funny because it's like, you could say it, Aaron, but it won't make it true. And people believing that or not is completely irrelevant, but he will know that, like, he'll always know how his wife fell deeply, deeply in love with me. And I felt deeply in love with her. And she left him when she realized like what would happen if, someone just treated her like a human instead of like a piece of garbage.
Was like,
Right.
I'm sure there was a lot of psychological abuse there. I think anyone that watches his show could see that is, a thing. But
yeah,
did you know of, or were you privy to things that maybe as far as physical encounters, I guess, abuse wise with them? Because other than the HRO statements, and I bring it up because at this point they're both saying April is a liar. The things that April said about, physical abuse at the hands of Aaron is a complete and total lie. And that not only that, but they convinced Keanu of that happening, and that you had set April in motion to say these things. Like, it's gotten so twisted and out of whack.
I don't know how I set April in motion to say these things. Those things came out with the HRO. So
Right.
Ashley is the one who set that in motion.
Mhm.
And then the crazy thing was that Aaron confirmed the stories. I mean, he confirmed it in a way that sounded more favorable to him, but he confirmed squeezing her until she would be quiet because he didn't want the kids to hear. And he confirmed pressing his head is how he worded it, so hard into her forehead that it caused her pain. And she
Yes.
told me those stories, and she told me some other stories as well. He's a large guy in some ways, I guess.
Hey, now.
But no, I wasn't even making that wasn't even a dick joke. I just mean he's soggy. That's all.
He's
I'm just
soggy.
playing. I'm just playing.
But no, so when you're 6'2" or 6'3", I guess he is 6'3" and over 200 pounds, and the person you're talking to is 5'5" and like 110. There's a disparity there, and it's a dangerous disparity, and it's terrifying. And so when you put someone in a corner and you are standing in front of them, like there's a an actual context to that goes beyond just oh, you guys are in an altercation. When you grab someone and your hand is like as big as their whole upper arm, like that means something different than like if a small person, if it was the opposite, like if she grabs his arm, like there's just way less threat.
For sure.
That type of stuff did happen. Like I've watched some of it happen, and heard about other stuff, but I saw him try and intimidate her several times. I saw him try and intimidate me one time. It was funny.
Oh,
I don't know. he's just not that scary when you're the same, like this. I'm not as heavy as him, but I'm roughly the same size. So it's like you can't bully me around like you can someone who's considerably smaller. So it was always that was a funny moment.
For sure.
What was your first reaction when you heard about Aaron going on this media tour after the arrest happened and everything?
My reaction was watching two women be absolutely devastated day after day after day. And of course, he lied in that video. He had started a couple weeks prior to us getting arrested. But the media tour was like it was a different character. It was vicious. It was mean. It was very, very personal and private. Like and then the other thing was again, like a lot of these stories were way overblown, but they had elements of truth to them, and so and there was no way to respond to any of it without either compromising someone or potentially compromising our criminal defense case. So watching him do it was literally, it was horrifying, and it was really shitty. It was a shitty thing to do. I wouldn't recommend doing that. If anybody else is out there, like, and you're thinking about it, don't do that to someone.
It felt like, and we said this, and I said this earlier, it felt like it was like kicking them while they're down type of thing. And like we had talked about him saying a lot that he is a vengeful type of person. So it was like his prime opportunity to make sure like it really dug in.
He said, I got to get out ahead of this. What the hell do you have to get out ahead of when we get arrested? Like I got to get out ahead of this.
Yeah.
Did he think that like, it's like, oh, well, that now that I'm arrested, I'm going to come out and be like, by the way, I'm in a poly relationship for a while. It's been a fucking mess now. Did he think that was going to happen? Like I don't know what that thinking is, but I've learned that he doesn't always know what words he's using.
Well, he said, I think it was the other day or something that he had told Ashley about everything, and he had told April's parents or something about everything before the arrest happened because he didn't want them finding out from the newspaper.
Yeah, which doesn't make any sense at all. Like that's crazy. Here's what Aaron does. He's a narcissist, and this is a very common behavior. There's just no way around it, and there's no other way to describe it. They attempt to isolate people who are on the outside of their circle or who wrong or reject them. And so what he did to April was he contacted everybody outside of our household on his own in secret after it was clear that they were not getting back together. And then right before our arrest, he was organizing to do that to us. He would contacted Kayla's mother and stepfather. He was trying to set up an intervention, like with one of her cousins and stuff like that. Like he was doing all these things to people he doesn't know, and that's the important thing. He doesn't know these people. He may have encountered them one or two times. They get a hold of their their Facebook information or whatever, and he'd start reaching out to them. And that's the tactic, is to isolate people from their support networks and to try and get ahead of it. And so he did that. He did that to April with their divorce. He tried to do that to her parents or whatever, which damaged me quite a bit because he told the story of the evil man, the evil cult leader who had swept her away with his wily magic words. But then he also he tried to do that to us with our family, with the nanny. the former nanny. The former nanny, by the way, that bitch, I've been finding out, she gave my 11-year-old alcohol. She paid, when my daughter had a friend over to stay the night, she paid each of them $75 to chug 2 Monster energy drinks in a row.
What?
Yeah, finding out about this shit has been really nice. But yeah. Oh, she stole my liquor like crazy, but I thought it was someone else. And I actually I griped at the person who I thought was drinking the alcohol. I was like, because I'd come back from like a 2-day trip or whatever, and there'd be like bottles of whiskey missing. Some of these things, are like $150 bottles. So I'd care that they were gone. And I thought it was someone else. And it turns out she would just, I've been finding this out from my kids. Like she would just go up into our bedroom and just pound down liquor sitting in bed. And that's how she was nannying our children. So it's been nice to learn about. I might report her to the police. I don't know.
If you had gone on Dick's show and you were talking about some of the, what that was like dealing with those people and some specific workers for that matter. And you had talked about, I know there were some things that you were like, at some point I'm going to be able to release it. And I know that because of your wife and some other sensitive stuff with that may be a while, if ever, that it comes out. But I also remember hearing you say something about these recorded interviews that you have with certain people.
Yep.
And again, same thing where it's like you want to be, careful with and, be respectful of those who don't want so much out or whatnot. But is there going to be a time where those are going to be released, whether redacted in certain places or is that a thing?
There's a lot to say in them, and there's getting those things finally pieced together a lot of the story. People mistake my discussion about this subject as trying to say, oh, Nick's not accepting responsibility. It's like, no, I did the crime. I did the criminal act. But what kicked off this investigation was a non-government conspiracy between people to take our children, and it had nothing to do with drugs. And that's openly admitted in one of the interviews. And so it's like, wait, so this is literally kicked off as an effort to take our children through the foster care system and place them with one of the people with the people who were involved in it.
Wow.
So there was that. And then the other stuff that we have is, it's related to my daughter who tested positive for cocaine and a metabolite. And there's so much about that gets I bogged down explaining it. But one of the things that people always said is, well, what's the second test say? And I have the recording of us being told that had happened. And I said, that's fucking impossible. There's no way. And then I think it's like the second or third thing we asked is, we want another test. We want another test on her immediately to confirm that result, because that result is impossible. And the county worker looked at me and smiled and said, the county is not interested in pursuing a second test. And it's like, that's insane. Like, you have to test her again. And they said, no, we don't. And so they never did. And we didn't have custody of the child, either legal or physical custody of the child at the time. And so we couldn't get another test. We didn't have the authority to do so. In fact, at that time, we weren't even allowed to talk to her yet. We hadn't gotten our supervised communication set up at that period of time. So this whole so we're stuck then going, there's no way that this happened. There's got to be a problem with the test. We want to have another test to confirm it. We can't get it because they're not interested in it. And then they never actually pursued it. So they never accused us of anything. There's notes that they have in there about, we don't know if this is ingestion or just exposure. We don't know where the exposure occurred. But the whole time is this is us. We're let's partner up here, county. We want to find out how the hell this happened, because when that happens, you're terrified as a parent. What the hell? How could this be? And so we never got to get the information, though, to try and investigate what happened, which has been one of the most fucking frustrating things ever. Because, like, I know, so it was like, even at Hackamania, some guy was yelling at me and he came up to me. He's like, your daughter got in your stash. I'm like, well, she didn't. Like, I don't know what to tell you, dude. It's a locked safe and she's 8 and it's in a locked room and I didn't leave it home. So I know she didn't get in there because even if she got to it, she wouldn't have been able to open the safe.
Right.
Because Kayla and April couldn't even open the safe. They couldn't remember the fucking combo. And so it's like the 8-year-old isn't going to get in there. So I know that she didn't get into the stash. So how did this result come about was, a primary question. And we never got the tools to answer it, which is really fucking frustrating.
It is. Yeah, I can't imagine. And honestly, you would think it would be protocol if they, came across something like that where, you wouldn't think this would be something normalized enough to be like, oh, we don't need a second test. Who cares? And because they knew that you were in a position where you couldn't demand one because it wasn't. You would think the state would automatically be like, this cannot be right. Let's just make sure. And when people argue this about this specific fact of the case, it bugs me to no end because Occam's razor would say, okay, it's a false positive. Like, let's run a second test. The end. But people rather believe, because it's so much more interesting and salacious and damning, I guess, that the kid got into it or you were sprinkling it all over her hair or whatever the hell. But it's just, I would genuinely think that this would be so abnormal in the lab that they would be like, automatically, no matter what, run a second test.
Yeah, right. I would think the same thing. And, but they didn't. Yeah. And people are like, well, why? It's like, I don't know. I'm not the county. I can only guess. But, it's been like the most devastating thing is because like people are horrified by it. It's like, well, you should be horrified by it if it was real, but it's
right.
Like, it's just not. But they're like, well, prove it. It's like, how?
Right.
The county did.
What is your theory with the situation with Josh and trying to get a hold of this body cam footage? Like, where do you stand with all that? Like, good luck, or you said it was pretty difficult to get, right? Or
well, I mean, it's classified or it's categorized as private data. The government is not supposed to release it to anybody but me. If you want to, or me or anyone else in the, inside the video. Right. If you want to challenge that, like if you believe that there should be public access to it, you have to serve everybody who's the subject of the video, which has not been done at present. You have to serve them with notice, and then you have to, tell the court as to why it should be public. I think it's a hard sell to the court because, the claim by the state is that they searched my house and found cocaine. I pled guilty to that. Right. So whatever public interest there is, I can't find. Typically public interest is about, someone says that the hands were up and, when the shots were fired type stuff,
right.
Or some sort of a violent encounter with police. Right. It's not typically the inside of someone's home. Those not usually considered public things. Right. Or that there's a public interest in it. So I don't know, but he seems very, very confident in it. It's in theory. I guess if he convinced April to sign a release and say she was okay with the release of it, they would have to redact out everybody else in the video, but they might she could do that. I have no idea. I haven't spoken with her in a while. And maybe I made her mad or something. Who knows? But that, or they're trying to get me to preempt them since they know I have it and trying to get me to release it or something. But I don't know. I have no idea. If they serve me, I guess then we'll determine if I'm going to fight it or not. And if he gets it some other way, that'd be really interesting because that'd be a criminal act by the state.
Well, okay, that leads me sort of to my next question with the Minnesota Public Records ghost that we have. It's like it would. Okay, you correct me if I'm wrong, and I probably am, but this has got to be someone who at least has access to filing the documents within the courthouse, I would assume, considering some of the things that were leaked through Minnesota Public Records were confidential. Yes, no, maybe. Like, who is this person? Whoever it is, Aaron seems to really act like if he may not know who it is at all, but that he's in on the loop and thinks that they're surveilling, this house that was doxed.
Well, they did. I mean, the crazy thing is, it seems like someone physically followed April home from work. They saw her truck and then followed her home. Then they spent a whole bunch of time saying it was me, like, or that like I bought that or paid for that place for her or whatever. It's like, nope, I didn't even know it existed. Didn't really want to. I thought she lived at her parents' house.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew where she worked because I remember when she got her job, and I went and congratulated her and all that stuff. But I didn't talk about it because it wasn't anybody's business.
Right.
And so then I think it's insane that people are like, yeah, this is great that people followed someone home and took pictures of them from a distance, like of their vehicle and stuff from a distance. That's crazy.
Yeah,
I don't know how else
creepy.
to say it. That's fucking crazy.
It's creepy.
And everybody's just like, yeah, this is great. Look at how cool this is. It's like, this isn't doxing. This isn't someone who's like,
stalking.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and whoever it was either had to be this MN Public Records person themselves or someone close enough to them to send it to them to post or under that account. So it's like, okay, is it both people? Is it one person? Is there somebody that's filtering information through this one? It's wild to me. Specifically, that obviously bothers me. But the confidential documents that were leaked, that's where I'm hung up on it, because I'm like, who is this? Whoever it is doing this without any fear, I guess, of, I don't know.
So there's not all of the documents are confidential. There were some that, I don't know that they've actually released any documents that are confidential. If Minnesota
all the
Public
child,
Records has. They should have been, but so
or redacted, maybe.
They should have been that court case should have been sealed. But again, I had an appointed attorney at the beginning, and they only petitioned to seal the discovery file instead of sealing the entire case.
Okay.
And so orders are presumptively public, even in family cases, even in juvenile cases. So the order that was released wasn't released illegally. It should have been harder to get, and it really should have been sealed. Once I got my new lawyer in, one of the first things we did was get that thing sealed up, and the judge was happy to do so because he could see what was going on really quickly. But it was like, a lot of people say they were confidential documents. They should have been. And if it was anything in the discovery file, it would have been. But since it was an order, it wasn't. But that's why no one's seen the actual, the test itself, for example.
Right.
But yeah.
Well, then that makes me wonder even about the original HRO from Ashley against Aaron, because I know that I had read, just looking it up, that in Minnesota, those harassment and restraining orders are all, you can't find them publicly. Is it something that you'd actually have to go into the county or something to find, or was it something that was leaked that shouldn't have been? I
think you can go into a courthouse terminal, and if you know the case number, you can pull them up, I think.
Okay.
I didn't have to do that because I had it, I had the paper copies when they got them. Right. Was when I saw them. April and I found his violation charge, which was quiet at first. But April and I found that we went in looking for something on the terminal, and it was like, oh, here's his charge for an HRO violation. That's kind of funny. And then that came out a little bit later. Someone else found it, and I think it was them in Public Records found it. And but yeah, so But that's the same thing. It's like those tend to be, they're not confidential, but they're not public from the internet. You have to just go in to the thing, but you can go in and look for them a lot of times.
Well, that makes more sense.
Unless they're like sexual stuff in there, like a lot. If they're really like bad reasons for the HRO, or like a domestic violence one, they'll you typically would get those sealed up because to protect the dignity of the victim.
Well, look,
Right.
while we are deciding what the hell we're doing, what was like the highlight of Hackamania? What was like top? Like that was the most fun. He's like none of it.
No, it was great. The whole thing was great. I just never expected to have like 2 days of shows dedicated to cum.
I don't think any of us were, for that matter.
That would just, it was never on my bingo card for life. And I'd like to thank a couple people, mostly Melton and Aaron for that one. It was just, that was so funny. I was like, this is unreal. Like, why? Because it was not just, this little piggy. The biggest problem had a whole segment about it. And then they did it again, or they had an NLO had another segment on it the next day and stuff. And it was like this, and people were asking me questions the whole time. I made sure to be available as much as possible for people to just ask me anything. And then, I can just deny whatever anybody says that I said at Hackamania. It's all false. I didn't say that.
Yeah. It's too bad
but I
we
told a
didn't
lot
make
of
it
great
out there.
stories.
Too bad we didn't make it out to Hackamania. I would have liked that. Well, that's good though. I mean,
Yeah.
I would not have had that chant, the specific chants that were going on my bingo list either. But
But I like the opportunity to just sit and talk to people because I do that anyway. I'm pretty social person. So like getting to just hang around people and talk and meet people from across the country who are like, did Aaron really eat it? It's like, yes.
That's all anybody wants to know. Just
I know.
come on, man.
And it's like, and he did, and it's funny. And I don't know why he's so mad about it. Because it was just so gross and awkward. I guess that's why he's mad about it. Yeah, that makes more sense.
His funniest cope is that Nick has been sleeping in his puddle for 5 months.
That puddle has some endurance. Damn.
It's pretty wild. Pretty
wild. Well, so in that November 11th text thread, was that the first time you had ever heard about that?
No.
No?
Oh.
No, she had told me when it happened. Like we'd talked about it. But we didn't that was back when we were together all the time, right? So she told me she's like, hey, we gotta talk about something. So she told me the story then, and then she reminded me of it later. Because I was like, she's like, I'm trying to remember exactly how it came about, but it was basically like, do you remember when he ate your cum? And I was like, oh my God, yes, I do now. And so then, we talked about it. We talked about it there, and she messaged me about it when I had because it was right after we had talked about it that I'd sent him the super chat, which is a good.
You got banned for?
Yeah, it was a good super chat. He didn't like that one at all. And
what did you say in that super chat?
I
said I vaguely remember it happening, and I remember everyone scrambling, just trying to find a screenshot of it before it was gone.
I said, you looked her in the eyes and smiled as you licked it.
Oh.
Yeah. Don't be dumb. Don't do weird stuff. Unless you're ready.
I feel like it's safe to say this probably happened more than one time. This is just the only one that we can pin down and say, well, we had a conversation about it right here. It had to have happened more than just that one time.
I don't know. She didn't talk about that.
I
the stuff that
did, so.
I wouldn't be surprised at all. But the stuff, you know, she talked to me about more was like he would need to hear about he'd need to hear about her and I together. So to get ready and to finish things. And it would get him really excited. Like they would I have a text message somewhere, but like they had to pull over, you know, after my birthday. When they were headed home, like they had to pull over because he just couldn't contain himself as they were talking about it and stuff like that. And so like that's like in April's messages. So I'm trying not to share her messages because she got really burned by Keanu and Gino and stuff like that. So I shared the ones because I'd had permission to share that story. But I try not to share the others that, you know,
Right.
but,
Specifically when Keanu called the other day, his eyes started twitching out. Like she said Kayla's name while she was on the
Yeah.
phone, and his left eye started tweaking. And man, whew.
Yeah. He's like, no, I can't.
Yes.
No, you can't. But he does every day. Like that's the other thing. That's the crazy thing is he's like acts like he doesn't violate that order every single day. And I think he's got a false sense of security around it because he hasn't been tagged for it. But he's about to learn a lesson is that contempt of court charges are hard for, you know, a prosecutor to do. Probation violations are not.
Right.
Those are not hard. And he's going to have to stop at some point indirectly referencing her and the situation or he will like that will become a violation really quickly. And I don't think he realizes that. I think he's like, oh yeah, they haven't done anything now. It's like, well, contempt of court charges are a pain in the ass, especially when you've already got a plea. So yeah, I mean, I guess we'll see. I would just prefer that he follows the order that he's under. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's why I was in place.
His MLC appearance, literally the day after court, that should be a slam dunk right there.
Yeah.
It doesn't, within the first 5 seconds that anybody would have mentioned anything, your ass should have been out of there. Because now it's just like taunting.
Mm-hmm.
It's insane.
I mean, Real Media Player put together a video of his quote unquote victory tour, and it's 4.5 hours, and it's not even close to complete. Like,
he
makes fun of her every day, and in my opinion, violates his order. But they said that'll be way different with probation, because it's a lot harder to get a contempt of court conviction than it is to get a probation violation.
Right.
And Minnesota has this great statute that looks exactly like the criminal statute, except it's a civil statute. And he's already admitted to all of the elements of the civil infraction. So he doesn't get to go to trial on it. I don't know if he knows that. I don't know if his lawyers told him that, like, admitting to doing a crime that has certain elements, when there's a statute right next to that one that says there's a civil cause of action here that has all the same elements, that you can just take the admissions from the first one and apply them to the second one, and you don't get to argue that you didn't do it. So that's going to be rough. I think if we decide to pursue, a civil cause of action against him, there's a punitive damages of $10,000 in the statute, attorney's fees as well. And also economic and emotional damages, something that's not usually given in Minnesota is emotional damages. And so, I don't know, like, what he was thinking. I just don't know. And his excuse of, I didn't realize it was illegal, isn't going to hold up well, because he doesn't get to make it, because he already admitted to every element of the civil cause of action. The only question would be, what are the damages? And we would maybe fight a little bit over the damages, but everything else, there's no trial. It'd be summary judgment. And the summary judgment is he'd lose. So he can keep talking about the $50 thing if he wants. Again, it won't take much work because you already admitted to everything. And so you're just going to get absolutely bent over on it. And we'll put out for the damages, and you've caused a woman a lot of damage.
Yeah.
And he thinks
Well,
it's funny.
That's one of the most insulting parts about all of this for us as women,
Mhm.
and like looking on this side of things, it's like nobody, anytime it was brought up, it was Nick is doing this to us. Like Kayla was never mentioned. Her actually being the victim and being victimized, all of that was set aside because it was just your hatred for him and you were coming after him. And, you know, as I don't know, as a woman, it was insulting. Not to mention, you know, the $50 part I think is pretty insulting too, but that's just me.
Well,
It's
it's
my
a court,
decision.
like it's a court fine. If you go look at every gross misdemeanor conviction in Stearns County, Minnesota, they all have a $50 fine, like all of them, because it's how much, like, to pay for the paper, you know, in the courtroom.
Right.
So, what happens next? Like, I think they're more likely to sentence him to community service than a fine because they tend to not want to put a value on stuff like
Right.
that. But he might be changing that because he keeps saying how it's $50. So the judge might just be like, no, it isn't.
Right.
And fuck him over. He seems to think that he's done,
Mhm.
which is a little bit crazy. His PSI is still going on. But yeah, I don't know, man. He's a strange person, and he has no concept of like any boundary at all. I mean, the
Right.
fact that he'll sit there and say, like, I didn't even know that was illegal. Oh, you just thought that was okay. Like,
Right.
you had no qualms about that at all. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I know guys do it, but they know it's wrong. Like, they know that if they get caught doing that, they're in trouble. Like
Right.
that usually. And so he's like, no, it didn't even occur to him that would be wrong. It's like, oh, all right. Okay. Also, he keeps saying that it was a consensual picture, which it was not.
For its word.
And the other thing that he has maybe not considered is that, because he's very proud of his fine and no jail time, but the judge could easily order him not to do his show for 30, 60, or 90 days because his show is, you know, a consistent place where he violates the rights and dignity of women. He hasn't learned his lesson. That's easily probation bait. He can sentence him to a bunch of community service. They can, they can kick him off the internet entirely. They could just put him on a restriction. It says no internet for you. So he has, that would be devastating to Aaron. Like 90 days of no internet or even just no broadcasts of his show would be absolutely devastating to him. And, and you know, he thinks that he thinks he's done, and he's not. So it'll be interesting to see what he does, or what the judge does, though. Like, I don't know. And I have nothing to do with it. I'm not the victim. That too. So he's desperate to get people to like latch onto these ideas. I don't care if people latch onto the ideas at all. I just think it's funny because I know it's driving him fucking nuts.
Yeah.
And I have so many more things. Like, there's so much. Because again, I have the whole conversation that I had with him. I had the whole conversation with April, and then I have the whole group conversation. I have all of those things completely preserved.